Lahav is a survivor of the Nova Music Festival. He miraculously escaped the festival with his life, going back home, and then made the courageous decision to stand and defend his homeland. On May the 5th, 2024, in churches across America, Eagles Wings partnered with the Moral Hearts Alliance in what we called Solidarity Sunday. Solidarity Sunday brought over survivors of the October 7th massacre so that we could bear witness to the atrocities that were committed by Hamas against innocent Israeli civilians on October the 7th. Interestingly, providentially, May the 5th coincided with Holocaust Remembrance Day. The nations of the earth for 75 years have been putting out the slogan, never again. But certainly never again is now. We see an alarming rise of anti-Semitism that we have not seen since the days of Hitler's rise to power. I want to invite you to hear the testimony of these survivors of the October 7th massacre on Solidarity Sunday, as we bear witness and we commit ourselves not only to the slogan of never again, but to living lifestyles as watchmen on the wall to commit to the safety of the Jewish people and of the state of Israel. Lahav is a survivor of the Nova Music Festival. He miraculously escaped the festival with his life, going back home to his family as he escaped that day, and then made the courageous decision the next day to put on his army uniform and go with his unit to stand and defend his homeland. One of his brothers was injured at the Nova Music Festival, and another one of his brothers was injured in Gaza as they went in to defend the land of Israel. Lahav is an amazing spokesperson for the realities, the horrors of what happened on October the 7th. Join me as we listen to Lahav bear witness to what happened on 10/7.
I want you to know how welcome I feel. And it's very impressive to see how much faith you have. You can feel it in the room. I want to start by showing you a video. It's not an easy video, but I think it will help you. It will help me paint a picture of some of the experience, of some of what we needed to had to go through in this music festival. What you're seeing here is my brother's car, and you hear the shots of the terrorists. That's an RPG that misses my brother. My brother doesn't know what to do. He keeps his head low, and he's backing now, trying to run for his life. This is 2 pickup trucks full of terrorists, and where you see my brother runs there, barely. He got shot twice. I'm an older brother. And on October 7th, my 2 little brothers wanted me to go with them on a music festival. It's 8 in the morning. We danced all night. Those festivals are usually in beautiful places in nature. They're all about celebrating life and everything that is unique about life and everything that was created for us to enjoy. So there's a traffic jam leaving the party. That's what happens when 3,000 people are trying to leave. And as I do, I'm a bit tired, so I close my eyes. So I have at this moment my youngest brother next to me. His name is Sal. And my other brother that left 20 minutes earlier was in that car that you just saw. So he's leaving, and I thought he made it out safely. And when I opened them, what I see is pure chaos, pure darkness is charging and starting to fire all over the place. So I open the door and I tell my brother to run for his life. And we run as fast as we can through the forest. I can barely breathe. My brother doesn't know what's going on, and I try to go to a safe place. I try to get to the main road. And as I do, I see a bunch of people wearing black with AK-47 about 150 yards from me. And I see that I'm trapped. I have nowhere to go. I hear the bullets hitting the trees. And at this moment, I understand that this is it. So I get down on my knees. I try to hide. I get my brother down with me. And I call my father. I told him, Dad, I don't have time to explain. We're being shot at. This is our last moment. I don't know how we're going to get out of this. I love you. My father is trying to understand what's going on. But as you can imagine, no father can understand what's going on in those moments. And my father does something that he didn't mean to, but he does something that always strike a nerve in me. And it's the fact that I'm the oldest. And I'm always responsible for my brothers. So he screams at the phone and he tells me, what about Sal? What about your brother? Is he safe? And that's all I needed to hear. At this moment, I realized that if not for me, I need to take responsibility for my youngest brother. And I grab him by the hand and I tell my father, we have to run for our life. I love you. Goodbye. And I hang up the phone and I get the strength that I need to keep running. But because they are surrounding us, I'm running towards Gaza. And as I do, I see a white sedan, a car, speeding on the road, on the dirt road, and I think it's terrorists. So I go down on the floor and I try to understand what's going on there. And I can see from far, these are people that were at the festival. So I run to them and I'm begging on the window and I'm begging them to let me in. And they don't hesitate. They open the door and they let me in. And we start driving out of the party. I call my dad. I'm leaving the phone open, the call, so he can hear me. I tell him, I think we're gonna get out of this. And the driver goes to the main road. And as he does, I feel that I might be saved. The driver is speeding, and all of a sudden, the driver hits the brakes really, really hard, and we slide on the road. And I lift my head to see why, and I see that he's trying not to hit the endless bodies that are spread on the road. And I remember one in particular. Her name is Yuval. It's a girl, a beautiful girl that was at the party, at the festival. And she's lying there on the road outside of her car. And she has 4 or 5 entry bullets here. You can see she's heavily bleeding. And she's having her last breath. For a moment there, I think I can save her and open the door and maybe get her in the car. But as I do, I hear a whistle and a bullet that is passing through the front windshield all the way to the back and goes exactly between my and my brother's head, misses us just by a bit. And when I try to look forward to see what's happening, I see 3 figures. And they block the road with their cars, like this. And those figures, this is how darkness looked for me. Looking at me right in the eyes. It's wearing masks and a handband in Arabic, something written in Arabic, AK-47, and RPG. And the look on their face is, you're next. So the driver is speeding up, and he says, I'm going to run them over. I grab his wheel and tell him, we're never going to make it. And I turn it to the left. We're sliding, we're making a U-turn, and they're starting bombarding us with bullets to the back of the car. And I just hold my brother's head, keeping it low. And now we're going back from where we came from, and we're also blocked from the other place. Before the car stops, I just open the door and I push my brother out. I'm going right after him. I grab him by the hand, and we start to run out of the road and into this lemon field that was there. And the minute we get to the lemon field, I can hear a big boom of an RPG hitting either our car or one of the cars that was next to us. I'm not sure till this day. And I'm not sure if anyone that was in this car made it out. I hold my brother's hands, and my brother is shocked. He thinks that he got shot because of the blast, but I've noticed that he's shocked. So every now and then, an older brother needs to give his little brother a slap on the face, and I do. And I told him, you're fine. Just be quiet. And he's asking me if he's going to die, if we're going to die. And at this moment, I tell him something that I didn't know if we're going to make it, but I know what he needed to hear. And I told him, so be strong, be quiet, we're going to get out of this. And he's hugging me. We stay there on the floor under a tree, and staying there could be 5, 10, or eternity. I don't know how many minutes we've been there. And I start hearing voices coming closer and closer and closer, and they're in Arabic. And I hear screams. And I hear one girl that is hiding in the bushes next to us, begging for her life and asking, where are you taking us? Completely shocked. And when I hear this, I look at my brother and I told him, we need to run again. Get up. We need to run east, towards the sun. So I grab him by the wrist and we start running for our life again. And we hear shots of people spraying the field, the lemon field with bullets, and we get down on the floor every time we hear shots. And at this moment, when one of the stops that I was hiding there, I realized that I don't know where's my other brother, because I didn't know what you've just seen. I thought he's out. And I call him and I say, Amit, my other brother's name is Amit. We're being slaughtered here. Get here the army. And he tells me, Lahav, I got shot. And maybe I didn't want to believe, so I tell him, I'm not kidding, I'm serious. You don't understand what's going on here. And he's telling me, Lahav, I'm serious, I'm here. I'm staying very quiet. I can hear them next to me. And I don't think I'm going to make it. So I start crying. My other brother cries with me, and we say goodbye, because I don't know if he's going to make it or not. And then I realize I can't even be with my brother on the phone, because I have another responsibility. I have my brother that is right next to me that I can help. And I tell my brother on the phone, I love you, stay strong, we're going to get out of this. And I hang up the phone, and I see people around me hiding, and they're more shocked than I am, and I'm shocked. I don't know what to do. And they're asking me if I can help. And at this moment, I understood that the more you try to take responsibility on someone else, the more you get out of your head and you can do something. So I crawled to them. There were a couple, a boy and a girl, lying there. And now we're four. And then I see two other people, and I tell them to come over. And we start to assemble as many people as we could. We became 8. And as we become 8, I tell everyone, I divide the people to look in different places so they can let us know if anything is coming. And I told them, no matter what you do not get up. Stay on the floor, stay quiet. And something strange starts to happen. I become very familiar with where I'm hiding, but the danger is not over. And this is something that always happens. You start to get familiarized with a certain place, and you mistaken it for being safe. But it's not always safe. And there's, I'm going to quote something that I read a long time ago, but suddenly feels so right. It's Matthew 8:20. And it's, and please forgive me if I don't remember it exactly, but it's something like, foxes have dens and birds have nests, but the Son of Man has no place to lay his head. And God at this moment is telling me, you have to keep moving. You have to keep moving and just have faith that just keep moving. Don't stay there. So I tell the group, I'm going to go first. I'm going to go about 50 yards ahead of you. And if everything is clear, I'm going to tell you to come closer. And if not, just run the other way. And I'm going tree after tree after tree. My heartbeat's going crazy. And as I'm getting out of this lemon field, this car, the army car, the IDF car, is passing by in perfect timing. And I go down on my knees because, I'm a bit dark-skinned. They can mistake me for a terrorist. And they tell me, get on the car. And they get me out, me and my brother and the rest of the people that were there. So we get out. The first thing that I do is I call my other brother, the one that you've seen the video, and I wanted to know what's going on with him, and he's telling me, I'm fine. They're getting me on the helicopter now. And they stop the bleeding. He's going directly to a surgery room. And I just, for the first time, I let go completely and cry. And I got a very, very important lesson that day. We don't have control on things, and it's hard to accept. But when you accept it, it's the highest possibility of doing something. Until you're not ready to accept it, things just keep getting worse and worse and worse. Sometimes you just need to let go. One of the many beautiful things in Israel, I told you one, that is you in the middle of a terror attack and a car sees you, and instead of just speeding, they see that you're Israeli, and what they do, they open the door and get you on the car when terrorists are in the back. The other thing is that now I'm in the south area of Israel, next to Gaza, and I really, really want to get home. I want to get to my brother in the hospital, and I see line of cars coming from the North Country of volunteers, and they all say, where do you need? Tell us where to take you. And I say, take me to my brother. Take us to the hospital. My brother is in the surgery room, then they put him to sleep, and I go back home. And I go home, and my brother, the other one that was with me, stayed with me, and we're going to bed, and I spoon him so hard, and I'm making sure that the pillow is not next to his nose. I feel like he's gonna suffocate. Like we've been through too much for me to lose you now, and I kiss him a million times on the head, but I can't sleep. So I get up and I'm walking in circles. And it's already 4:30 a.m. and I finally fall asleep, but I wake up like 2.5 hours later. And when I do, all I want to do is celebrate the fact that my life is mine again. I was saved. But this is what I felt is the apocalypse. This is as bad as it gets. There's nowhere else you can be but taking responsibility again. And so I go on my motorcycle, I drive back south, I go to my army base, I put my gear up, and I'm thinking I'm very special, but there's like 500 people like me standing in line waiting to fight. And we assemble the first team. I don't even know where I'm going. And they tell us that Kfar Aza we don't know what's going on there. It's still not cleared. So I said, okay, so that's where we're going. And we're going to Kfar Aza. This is how I imagine hell. It's worse than anything that I could imagine because there's something, as you said, different in the context of seeing families. It's not a military base. It's just a completely different context to see all the death, piles of blood, 4 of my army friends lying dead, and I need to lift them, put them in body bags, and the smell of blood that is stood there the whole day in the sun. And I would never forget the smell. So that has been my experience through 7th of October and 8th of October. What I've seen is complete chaos that doesn't ask questions, doesn't ask who you are, doesn't ask what you believe in. And in terms of narrative, I think my narrative is very clear. This is what the world needs. You need to come with love, even to your haters, and change them, or at least try. That's our best chance. And it's hard many times, I know, but this is how we can create a better world. Have a conversation and hope for the best and pray for the best. Thank you.
I know that this testimony has touched your heart. It has filled you with a fresh perspective that can only come from hearing from the heart, the mind, the story of those who have endured this atrocity. Eagle's Wings is committed to staying on the front lines of this battle. Sadly, October the 7th did not start on October the 7th. This battle for the existence of the state of Israel goes all the way back even before the founding of the state in May of 1948. There has been, within the hearts of radicalized Islam, a violence against the Jewish people that knows no bounds. I want to invite you to click the link and go to our Frontlines page, and you will see firsthand what Eagle's Wings is doing day by day on the front lines in Israel. We are there through our Abraham's Bread feeding centers, through our United Hatzalah outreach, through our Forest of Life program, which is working with disadvantaged youth who are being sheltered right now in the middle of the hills of Judea. You want to get involved with this effort, go right now to the Frontlines page and let me know that you're standing with us as we make a difference for Israel and the Jewish people. And if you haven't yet done so, click on the links and listen to the stories of the other survivors that brought forth this powerful testimony on Solidarity Sunday.